With global warming putting increased pressure on food security, an agricultural research centre in Kent is exploring ways to make food production more secure and sustainable in a changing climate. The East Malling Research Centre has 35 scientists working on key projects that include water management and natural pest control.
In terms of scientific discipline, we cover really all the things needed to understand how to produce crops. We have geneticists and plant breeders that based on understanding of genomes and plant genetics, produce new plant types that are more productive, resistant to pests and diseases, can survive with less water, those sort of things. Physiologists, understanding of the way that plants grow, so we can design growing systems, pruning systems, water management systems, and crop protection specialists, entomologists and pathologists, so we can manage plants such that they don't suffer from pests and diseases, increasingly and particularly in ways that don't use agrochemicals.
A key project focuses on sustainable water management. Environment Secretary Hilary Benn recently visited the centre to learn more about the success of its water irrigation project. The specialised system nearly halves the amount of water needed to grow a potato crop, which is vital in areas of the UK that are already suffering severe water stress. The team hope to eventually get their methods into mainstream agriculture.
What we have here is drip irrigation, and the drip lines are buried in the potato ridges. What that means is we can deliver the water very effectively to the root system. So we minimise those evaporative losses, and we ensure that the water gets to the tubers, which is where it needs to be.
In a similar experiment on strawberry crops, the team were able to make 85% water savings while maintaining yields and improving fruit quality and flavour due to the system's targeted root fertilisation.
Most of the crops that require irrigation, such as potatoes, strawberries, they're grown in the south and the east of the country, and that's where there's a maximum pressure on water resources. And the Environment Agency has already classified these as being overstressed, essentially, they're water-stressed areas. Now, given the impacts of climate change, the demand for water is set to rise by another 30% in 20 or 30 years' time. So it's absolutely vital then that we begin to develop methods to use the water we have, use it more efficiently, waste less, in order to protect the environment.
Another project looks at moving away from chemical pesticides to find alternative ways of controlling pests. A focus has been into the tarnish plant bug, which feeds by probing strawberry flowers, which leads to deformed fruit, which are then unsaleable.
Traditionally, the growers have been spraying insecticides to control this pest, and we've been looking at using the tarnish plant bug's natural sex pheromone. That's a substances produced by the female to attract the male. We've identified those and synthesized them, and we're using those substances to attract the males and to monitor and eventually control the capsive bug.
The experimental traps have contributed to a big reduction in pests on the strawberry plants. Internationally, a similar pest affects cotton and fruit crops in the US, and as the centre puts most of its findings into the public domain, its research looks set to provide benefits into food production on a global scale.